Hi, friends. Welcome to Heavenly Whip Monday on Triumphant Victorious Reminders with Teresa Ann and Intervined Art. I am so thankful that you have joined me today on my podcast and YouTube channel. And for those of you who may not know this, Triumphant Victorious Reminders started as a blog in March of 2009. And since that time, it has become a YouTube and podcast channel. Now, on today's episode, I'm going to be highlighting John 2:24 and 25. Does God trust you and I with what he has given to us? That is what's coming up next. How often have you said, or maybe even others have said to you, wow, God must really trust you with this because there's just no way you could do this on your own. And I've said this. I've even thought this about other people like, wow, how God must trust them. And I don't know when it happened, but it was probably a few months ago when I was reading the book of John and I ran across John 2 verses 24 and 25. During the Passover celebration, Jesus is witnessed by many of doing these amazing miracles, and people are beginning to trust him for what he's doing. It then says this, but Jesus did not trust them because he knew all about people. No one needed to tell Jesus about human nature, for he knew what was in each person's heart. Wow. How often again have we said, wow, I can't believe God is trusting you with that. Actually, we get to stand in correction with that. God does not trust us with what he's given to us. He trusts that we are going to trust him with what he has given to us. Think about all of the different promises from God when he says to Joshua, for instance, be strong and courageous. And he says it several times, for I am with you. The being strong and courageous was not God was not saying to Joshua, you need to be strong and courageous in who you are. He didn't say that. To be strong and courageous, Joshua could only do that when he remembered God was with him. So the first part of being strong and courageous is not knowing who we are, but it's knowing who is with us. That's number one. Number two, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on our own understanding, but in all of our ways we acknowledge him, as we know he will direct our paths. So even that right there shows us God does not trust us, but he trusts that we will trust him and we won't lean on our own understanding. But in all of our ways, we will acknowledge him. We will make ourselves aware to God being with us, knowing because he's with us, he is the way. And because he is the way, it doesn't matter which way we go, it doesn't matter what trials we go through, we know who is with us, which is why we can be brave, strong, and courageous. Again, not because of who we are, not because we've been disciplined enough to get with God every day and pray with him and read his word. It's because the reading of his word and the praying makes us aware to who is with us. And in who is with us causes us to realize that he doesn't trust us with what he's given to us, but he is trusting that we will trust him. Thank you so much for joining me today on today's Heavenly Whip Monday via Triumphant Victorious Reminders with Teresa Ann. Thank you so much for sharing my YouTube and podcast channel. Thank you for leaving your reviews. And also, please message me or share with me what God is highlighting to you and how to make yourself aware of him and his glorious presence so you too can be strong and courageous, knowing that He is with you. Remember what Triumphant Victorious Reminders is all about. It's about bold inspiration, revealing God's goodness so that we can see with heavenly wit, seeing mission fields in the midst of battlefields.